Whew, here we are again. We're going to do some more vitality vibes. And today is all about, what's our topic?
Self-care.
Oh, man. Well, we could be here for 5 hours. Hope you
Very
guys
well
are ready
good.
to listen to us talk for a long, long time.
And it's such an important subject. I mean, it's something that I think everybody gets so busy and going in their day-to-day life that they don't realize they need to stop and take some time for themselves.
Right. Well, I read this really great article. I was almost tempted to, we might actually include it in the show notes.
Okay.
Or, on YouTube down below, because it was so poignant, because so often we think of self-care as like, treat yourself, I'm gonna go eat all I want, I'm gonna go like just have a party, I'm gonna go be with my friends and like do this thing that's like on top of all the stress you're carrying every day.
Yeah.
You kind of have this blow up where you're like, I'm having a party.
Yes.
But the article was so good because it was kind of nailing in on, how about you take good care of yourself so that you don't have to have these eruptions where you try to escape your life. Like, good self-care is making your life good.
Oh, it's totally making your life good. One of my favorite adages that I like to use with my clients is, when you're on an airplane, what do they tell you? They tell you, go ahead and put the oxygen mask on yourself first so you can assist the other passengers.
Right.
Well, that's the same in life. If you take care of yourself and put that oxygen mask on you and you're happy and good, you're able to make the others around you happy and good too.
Right.
And the best way to do that is to take a little self-care.
And you just totally gave me the best pictorial representation of codependence that I've ever thought of.
Yeah.
Is that I spent a lot of my life codependent, not like feeling guilty if I did anything for myself. So I literally was the person on the plane going like, I'm dying, and I'm putting other people's masks on.
Oh yeah, I was there once too, and that's the thing too, is that I think, it probably happens for men too, but for women especially, we're told we got to have it all. We have to take care of the kids. We have to take care of the house. We have to work. We have to do it all.
I'll bring home the bacon, fry it up in a pan,
and never let you
forget that you're a man, 'cause I'm a woman. Anjali. Okay, Anjali, we are expecting some payment.
Yes,
for that.
exactly.
Does that even exist?
I don't know, but I did find a bottle of Jean Nate on eBay and sent it to one of my friends. We're going back. But yeah, as women, we're told we have to have it all and do it all and be all. And by the end of the day, most women are completely exhausted and wiped out, and they've done everything for everybody else, but nothing for themselves.
And I think that same kind of thing exists for men in our culture.
Oh, sure.
It's just go, 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 produce.
Yeah.
The more you can talk about all the things you accomplished, but we've lost really some of the things that are most important in our culture.
Yeah.
And I really think today we're going to explore self-care around, and we're just kind of vibing here.
Yeah.
But we're going to look at 4 principles. One is nourish, move, connect, and be. Those are the 4 principles that we're going to look at. And you were saying something
So important.
really interesting about, you were reading something about the people who lived for a long time in Japan.
Yeah, I read a really cool book called Ikigai. It's the art of longevity. And so they studied people in Okinawa, and it was all this centenarians and super centenarians. It's a little bit twisted.
And I used to live in Okinawa, y'all, so I got to tell you something. You're not going to believe this, okay? But in our little military newspaper that we got, like almost every issue, there was another story about a 100-year-old woman who beat a snake to death. And when I say snakes, they were huge snakes. They had pictures of them, and she'd be standing there a little bit bent over with her cane, going like, "Don't even mess with me, Sonny, because I'm gonna take you out." You know what I'm saying?
Yes, and I would be her best friend because snakes terrify me. So that would be really good. But one of the things that they studied in common was that most of the centenarians and super centenarians, say that 12 times really fast, all ate pickled vegetables and had a similar diet, mostly vegetarian, but a lot of seafood too, the basic kind of Japanese diet.
Living on an island.
Yeah. Exactly. And then they also gardened, which a lot of us do here, so that's a big positive.
And when you get your hands down in the dirt, they've actually identified some of the things that are in the dirt They're literally antidepressants,
Yes.
chemicals,
Yeah.
except without side effects.
Yeah, exactly. And they're free. And then the other thing that they all had in common was most of them went and karaoke'd or walked with friends. So that took care of the first
Nourish,
three elements: nourish, move, and connect.
Well, and be. When you're in
Yeah.
a garden,
Oh,
when
yeah.
you're in nature, it is one of the most quintessential places to be.
Yeah.
And just to breathe and to settle and go ask yourself the deeper questions in life. You
Yeah.
know, you're just in a different rhythm.
You're just in the now.
You're not on a to-do list.
When you're in there. Yep, exactly. And bringing it back to the Japanese, they also have a tradition called forest bathing. And that's something else they do too, is like just go out into nature and just do a self meditation and just be in the forest, getting the breath, getting the light, getting the vitamin D, you know, getting fresh air, getting exercise. And it's not even, because a lot of people I think of meditation as you have to be sitting and just quiet and still. You can do meditation and be just walking or doing things. I also kind of meditate when I clean stalls in the morning. I put on my 110 healing sounds and I just sit there and rake and do my thing, and it's all quiet and zen, and it's a form of meditation for me.
Absolutely.
So going back into the self-care, there's little ways to carve out niches for yourself that you're actually doing something for yourself, but you're not actually, you can make household things or everyday things be a little more of a zen thing rather than a high pressure thing.
How can you bring, like you said, you've got something that's taking you to another place, and it's your intention.
Yes.
You can do dishes. There's a monk who wrote a book. He was the dishwasher at this, what do you call it? Not a convent, but
they call him a monastery.
Yeah, he was at the monastery. He was the dishwasher, and he wrote a book that's been famous for hundreds of years about meditation and prayer.
Yeah.
And he learned it through just being present to washing those dishes.
Yeah.
And letting his mind, we're not held in place. It's not like there's a thumbtack that says, I have to think about shoveling crap now because I'm shoveling it. No, you can go into, like you said, that Zen place where you can empty your mind or you can fill your mind.
Yeah.
There's one of the ways that I meditate is sometimes it's things that I've written, sometimes it's quotes, sometimes it's scripture, but I take other thoughts and I think about them over and over again while I'm doing something. Like, I don't know, we always have, if you haven't been to Wellspring, just come and use the bathroom.
Yes.
Because we have the best graffiti.
We really do. I'm in there and sometimes I bring my phone and I'm like, take a little picture to remind myself, or there's always a quote that I'm like, oh, me and a friend were just talking about that this morning, and so I send it to them just to give them a little uplift. I mean, Wellspring is so uplifting.
We should be inspired. And
yes.
I want to say thank you to Kristen, because Kristen is always looking for these great quotes.
She does a great job.
Yeah, she inspires so many people. You're not the only one who takes pictures.
Yeah,
I've had people come to me in tears and just be like, I needed that today.
Yeah, it's important.
So here's one. A stomach can be full of so-called food, but be empty of nutrients. And let's see if we can say this.
Bingo.
Who this is. Can you read that?
Mokohama Mokohanowana.
Okay. It's Mokokoma Mokonowana. Sorry, we both just butchered this beautiful person's name, but it doesn't mean we don't like the quote.
Exactly.
So
don't let that distract.
Stomach can be full of so-called food, but be empty of nutrients. What does that say to you?
Well, what it says to me is, and I'm going to go back to the self-care thing, is that a lot of times being busy and going, we end up taking food on the fly or doing things quickly and just shoving down something quick just so we get something in our body, but we're not really thinking about the nutrition content in it and if it's satiating our body. And, we'll eat a bowl of cereal over the sink or do something like that. So I think what that's saying to me is to maybe slow down a little bit and start to think about what you're putting into your body and try to make some more healthy choices so that you're nourishing your body rather than just chucking something in there to just fill your stomach.
Yeah. As you're talking, you're making me go even deeper. I want to thank you for that. Because I'm thinking about those 4 things that we talked about. Like our food can nourish us and we can think about it on a nutritional level.
Yeah.
But what if we're breathing well?
Yeah.
Doesn't it? Or chewing well?
Yeah, exactly.
And how that's movement. How are we chewing? Are we sitting still? Are we in a place of peace? If we have to be in a hurry, are we finding a way to, like, are we connecting?
Yeah.
Can we connect with other people over that food? That will make it more nourishing.
That too, and also try to make your food beautiful. Try to make like what you eat pretty. So, if you're making yourself a little toast in the morning, smatter some avocado on there, put a tomato on there, put some sprouts on there, put a little salmon on there. Make it look beautiful. I was at Sweetgrass yesterday and I had salmon toast. That's why it was on my mind. And it came out and it was this gorgeous little boat.
It's a work of art.
So when your food looks like that, you tend to just take more time and eat it slowly and think about what you're doing and almost again, meditating it, thinking about chewing, thinking about digestion, thinking about slowing it all down.
And here's something that I know that some of you are thinking, because I usually always think this. I'm like, I don't have time to make my food into an artwork, a piece of art.
Yeah.
I don't care. But that's the thing, is that I've realized as I get older that I actually do have time, because it doesn't take
it takes
that
like
long.
5 seconds to add those extra things to it.
And you're done.
Yeah.
And plus that's where the bee comes into.
Yes.
Is to create, to make something beautiful, then all of a sudden it becomes being.
Yeah.
You're like, I'm here for a reason. Now I look at this thing. This is a once in a lifetime piece of toast.
Yeah.
It'll
or,
never look like this
a
again.
yogurt parfait or however you do it. But then, it's like you're also nourishing that creative side of you when you take a little time to do that too. So it's really kind of a full circle thing to come around and do that.
I feel like good self-care is going to have all 4 of those components present. Even if you think, well, I'm just eating, so that's nourish. No, we just showed you how you can bring all 4 of those in there.
Yeah, and it doesn't have to take a huge chunk of time. Like you don't have to think to yourself, I'm setting aside 1 hour today for myself. It could be I do a little 5-minute thing here. I do a little 5-minute thing here. Later in the day, I take a little 10 minutes and do some breathing exercises or some stretches or anything like that. It can be so simple. It doesn't have to be hard.
Exactly. That brings me, so there's 2 things I think that people do when it comes to self-care. One thing that makes them burn out is they're like, I gotta try harder. I gotta do better. And I gotta tell you, just those thoughts are enough to put you in a depression.
Yeah.
They're gonna take away, you're gonna try for a little bit and you're gonna start beating yourself up again. What I wanna encourage you, what Leslie and I, where we're coming from is, and this is a great book that I just listened to as well on Audible, try softer.
I like that.
Try softer with yourself. Like, what kind of messages are you telling yourself around self-care? Like, oh, I can't do it, or I don't have enough time, or I'm so stupid, I can't believe I didn't do that for myself again. I hear those people say that in my treatment room all the time. Like, I give them homework, like, oh, I didn't do the homework, I'm so stupid. No, you're not. You just probably didn't have time or know where to find the time.
Yeah, and you have to be able to forgive yourself. You can't hold yourself into a box and say, I didn't do this. It's not good or bad. It's just finding a blank space to do it. And when you said the soft thing, it made me think of, I ride horses and I used to jump a lot and compete. And in competing, when you're coming up to a fence, rather than looking down at your fence, you're supposed to have what you call soft eyes, and you're supposed to look over the fence at another object. So you're not concentrating downwards, you're concentrating forward and going forward.
That's beautiful.
And that just hit me as that's just a great metaphor for life and for self-care. Don't look down at the object and say, I have to do that. Look past the object and say, I'm going to hurdle that obstacle and go over the top with soft eyes.
So many of us have grown up, not all, but so many of us grew up with messages that were like, you're stupid, you're clumsy, you're an idiot, you can't ever do anything right. And if we haven't dealt with those, we just keep playing those tapes
Mm-hmm.
or those records or playing that song on Spotify, right? For you guys that are younger. And we just keep playing it.
Yeah.
And I think one of the best ways we can do self-care, and this is something I've just started to do in this last year, is I do not say those things to myself anymore.
No.
And if I catch myself, I'm like, I'm not stupid. I'm actually pretty smart. I can do all, and I laugh at myself. Like,
Yeah.
this is great. Like I can do this. I can do that. You know?
Yeah. You just got to erase that
Mm-hmm.
out of the playbook and out of your memory, and just start filling it with positive things. One little thing I do along with your notes is I have, when I open my bathroom cabinet, on the door, I have a bunch of little post-its
Yeah.
with positive quotes and good little mantras. And so I just take a few seconds out when I'm doing that, like when I'm brushing my teeth, and I read those. So that gives me positive things to start the day with and carry through the day. So again, a good quote goes a long way in pushing some positivity.
Yes. Well, here's another one, another good quote, and it's not one of the ones we have written down here. I think one of the roadblocks for people with self-care is they have an all or nothing mindset.
Yes.
If I cannot put rose petals on the floor and have exactly the right essential oil and exactly the right music and carve out 3 hours to make myself a little spa day, whether it be with my partner or just for myself, I ain't gonna do it.
Yeah.
And so it's not about all or nothing.
No.
It's about a little something something. You were already alluding to that.
Yeah.
5 minutes here.
Little increments, and it makes a big difference.
Yes.
And not to get off the quote thing, but something that they've found out that people, as far as exercise goes, a lot of people do the same thing, all or nothing. And actually they're finding if you do small bursts of exercise throughout the day, it's just as good as going for an hour-long run or bicycling 5 miles or whatever. So think
and I
about
think it's
that
actually
with self-care too.
better.
Yeah.
Here's how it's better, is because you're stimulating your brain. You're actually turning on your brain in a different way, and then you're taking that stimulus and that change and that awareness of your body into your work.
Yeah.
And then you go back and you do it again. A lot of these, extreme athletes who, they're in great physical condition, even though they're out there doing all this stuff, a lot of times what they do becomes monotonous and they shut down.
Yeah.
So be aware of your movements. That's one of the things I'm going to be teaching in my next movement workshop.
Yeah.
So,
and it's not just about going out there and being robotic and getting through it. It's about, again, coming back full circle, being, taking the time to actually take a few minutes to find some enjoyment in doing a simple thing.
like, what's it feel like to just lift my arm and then let it fall?
Yeah.
We're so out of our bodies. And
Totally.
so doing all these different things in a way that you're like, well, what's that feel like?
Yeah.
And let me just try to move. Here's one thing that we do in my workout classes.
I love your workout classes, by the way.
Is we try to, almost every time we try to find what's a way that we can move that we've never moved before.
Yeah. That's a really good thing to do because
Anybody
people
can do
get
that.
stuck in it and it's just fun. Another great way to get movement is put on a fun tune for 5 or 10 minutes and just dance around while you're dusting or vacuuming or doing something. One of my favorite Madonna quotes, only when I'm dancing can I feel this free. So it's a good time to just get up and just move. And that's one simple little thing. It takes 5 minutes and there you've just checked off the self-care thing.
And you were dusting, which is also self-care. That article I was referring to that we'll make sure gets posted here is, it was saying, don't work yourself to a place where you are so stressed all the time.
Yeah.
Like, do the things that make your life better and easier. Like, sit down and have a discipline of saving your receipts or the things that we don't all necessarily like to do. That's such good self-care. Is to have this discipline. And we made the joke in my workout class about go ahead and do these pulls like there's no tomorrow, do these crunches like there's no tomorrow. But what we realized was, we were talking about it, is if there was no tomorrow, none of us would be in the workout class. We would be with the ones that we love. We'd be doing something that, this is the last time we're together, so let's make it really good. But the reason that we go to the workout class on the regular, do that self-care, is because there is probably more than likely going to be a tomorrow.
Yeah.
And we're doing the work today to make tomorrow the best possible day it can be.
Oh, yeah. Totally. I agree with that 100%. And in the workout class, you're doing all kinds of good things for your health. You're laughing, you're moving, you're breathing.
We're sharing gratitude a lot of the time.
Totally.
Gratitude circle.
Gratitude is like something you just can't overlook. Yeah. It's such a good way to, even to start your morning or go to bed at night, just think of 3 things during your day that was beautiful. I got to hang out with Liz.
I got to hang out with Leslie.
There's 2. And, I woke up this morning and I was breathing. That's 3. It can just be such little things or even big things that you're grateful for.
You mentioned a great book that you've been reading, one that I read years ago, and I can't remember the name of the author. It's called 1,000 Gifts.
Oh.
And she took this challenge, and spoiler alert, you kind of find out about halfway through that she got a cancer diagnosis, which is what started her on this journey. And she decided she was going to find 1,000 things that she was grateful for.
That's beautiful.
And once you get past, like the first 30, breathing, food, you have to start having this sense of wonder and like, I'm going to be surprised by something today.
Yeah.
Because you start to look at the dew on the spider web. Look at that beautiful thing.
Yeah, that's like with the forest bathing. That's a part of the meditation, is like seeing a leaf for the first time, seeing a piece of moss on a rock for the first time, and noticing the beauty in that. That's so key. I love that.
And as a body worker, one of the things that I've discovered about gratitude is that the body teaches us about gratitude. Here's why. Your nerves cannot feel pain and say cold, or pain and vibration at the same time. They have to choose. And so your spirit cannot be in anxiety and gratitude at the same time.
That's beautiful, Liz. Bingo.
Right.
Yeah.
You can totally like cut it off at the pass. And I'm not saying like, this is not Pollyanna, like, let's play the glad game. This is like you from your heart going like, okay, this thing really sucks.
I have a friend that calls me Pollyanna.
I've had some friends say that about me too. But
it's how you do it. I don't want to use the adage of glass half full or glass half empty, but even just the smallest increment of your mindset, just changing it, an inkling to try, even in the worst situation, to see where it is. My first marriage was a total disaster. I was married to an alcoholic.
She was married to an alcoholic. Hopefully that's not him calling.
No, that was my good husband. Sorry about that. Forgot to turn my phone off. But anyway, my first husband, it was a disaster of a marriage, but I don't look back at it that way. I look back at my marriage as it taught me all kinds of things. It taught me all kinds of lessons, and it brought the guy who just called on the phone into my life, which is a very positive thing and a good thing. So the reason I bring that point up is sometimes things that seem like they're really negative in the moment end up being a really positive thing. So,
and I'm not even going to say that about sometimes. I am actually doing this work right now.
Yeah.
Like I did not get to go to a trip to Mexico. I lost money, had passport issues. I should be in Mexico right now.
Well, but I'm happy you're here today.
Yeah, I am too. And the thing is that I got this download of like, I'm going to be unoffendable in my life. I want to find gratitude and I want to find blessing. And so I started making a list. It's called the No Bueno Mexico Blessing List.
Yes.
And I was supposed to be there just a couple days ago. So in 48 hours, I already have 6 things that I can already say, this is a blessing that I would not have if I wasn't here. I'm so grateful to be present right where I'm at.
Yeah.
And that takes time to learn that.
It does.
But it's not how I grew up. It's, I was always kind of mad at God and mad at everybody around me because I was an abused child. And it is so good to be in this other place.
Yeah.
Of acceptance and grace.
Yeah.
It's like you have space instead of feeling like, oh, my life is terrible. No, I'm waking up every day going, what are the possibilities?
Yeah.
That's deep self-care.
It is deep self-care, and it's really, really, really important because there's nobody out on the planet, I don't think, that's not gone through a struggle, and you have to choose how you look at the struggle.
Yes.
Is it something that you're going to let take you down and tear you down, or are you going to look at it as something that was a building block that gave you some character and lifted you up and made you a stronger person? So I think
it's like the butterfly going in the cocoon.
it is.
Somebody just was mentioning it, and I've studied it at different times in my life because it's a beautiful metaphor. Like, if you can't get the butterfly going into the cocoon, what metaphor can you get?
Yeah.
But that when the caterpillar goes into the cocoon, it actually totally turns into goo.
Yeah.
That's the hard times.
It is.
But it's
Goo is a good way to put it too.
Being in that place where everything feels like it's dismembered, it's pulled apart. There's no way I could come out of this. But then to have something beautiful always will come out of it. That is how the cosmos was designed.
Oh yeah, rising
Redemption.
from the phoenix,
Yes.
burning down to ashes and coming out as a, beautiful bird. Yeah,
Yes.
It's all a part of life, and you can choose to make it be ugly, or you can choose to make it be beautiful.
Yes. So I think what we're really talking about is kind of the core of self-care. Is can we get to the truth about ourselves? Not the truth is not the self beat down.
No, and it's not about being perfect either.
Right.
It's about being okay with sometimes making a mistake or making a wrong choice or having a stumble in the road. It's all a part of it.
That's the other thing about self-care that before we got on, that we were like, oh my goodness, the alternative doctor who works with us here at Wellspring said, my sickest people are the people who are so obsessive about their self-care, about their exercise and their diet, and they're dialing it in and they're charting it. He's like, they have things in their spirit that aren't letting them actually just release and let go and enjoy life.
Yeah, it's being rigid.
Yes, and like, I have to be perfect, I have to be better. And those are the people who are more likely to get cancer, according to this doctor.
Well, disease, put the two words together, dis-ease.
Yeah, worry, anxiety, fear. Whoa. We are just unlocking the secrets of life today. Deep dive.
I mean, really, it is. I mean, and it's there's so much stress and worry with people every day, and a lot of it is conscious and a lot of it is choice, and you have to choose how you look at those things and how you deal with those things. And if you choose to look at it with a little bit of gratitude, it's like a little sugar on top of the medicine.
Well, yeah, and you think
Speaking of Walt Disney movies,
makes the medicine go down in the most
Mary Poppins.
delightful way. And gratitude is an attitude.
It is,
and
100%.
And in one of my teachings that I do about the ABCs of restorative movement, A is attitude. Attitude is the direction that sails are pointing. It's also the shape of our body. Like, if I'm sitting here all slumped like this and my head's down, and I'm walk past you, you're gonna know there's something going on with me. My body will show you where I'm at. But you can actually, and this is something you might want to look up, is, oh my goodness, I'm brain farting on her name. I talk about her all the time. It's a TED Talk, and she's trying to massage it out of my head. Amy Cuddy, that was really good. She's got magic fingers.
Like the Fonz.
And
we're really dating ourselves right now.
Old ladies
There's
talking
some
about
kids out there
self-care.
going, Fonz,
Right.
what is that?
Look it up on YouTube, people.
Jump the shark.
So, but yeah, Amy Cuddy talks about how when we put our body in a certain position, whether we have the feeling or not, the shape of our body can actually influence our emotions.
100%.
Totally recommend you should check out that TED Talk.
I will check that out. Yeah, I believe it 100%, because if you're held up and holed up like this, you're not exuding energy.
Right,
you're just
right.
kind of keeping it stuck and stagnated inside of you. So yeah, you have to open up. I agree 100%.
So we got a few minutes left. Let's go ahead, or maybe a few seconds. Let's just do, and people, if you've made it all the way to the end of this and gotten a lot out of it, join the conversation, share what you're thinking, but also share some of your favorite self-care things that you do for yourself.
Yeah, we'd love to hear about it.
Yeah, so what are some of the favorite things that you do? Let's just
One of my favorite things, well, we've kind of talked about a few of them, is I love music. I love to dance. So I put on music when I'm doing mundane things and it makes me really happy. And my dad is a huge polka fan. So once in a while I put on a little polka music and dance around.
polka.
And it is impossible to be sad, depressed, or bummed out when you listen to a little polka.
Right.
That, and again, one of my favorite self-care things, and I'm not just saying this, is to come to Wellspring. It gives me that notch to come in and take care of myself. So that's super important. And the other thing is taking my dogs for a walk or spending time with my horses. Those are big things that carve out time in my life that allow me to have self-care, because I'm caring for them, but really I'm the one getting the care from them.
One of the things I'm doing right now for my self-care, and I talk about this in the article that we did recently, is I'm organizing everything. I'm touching everything that I own.
I do that every spring.
Yeah.
Seriously.
That's so good,
I
though.
just have been doing all that.
I'm touching everything that I own and deciding if I want to own it. I'm doing, and I still have to go through like my clothes, and it's so great because I'm going to be making space for possibility. I love to write.
Oh, good.
I love to dance and listen to music. I go to Zumba, which is a blast. I'm going to try the ecstatic dance thing that's going on here.
I love ecstatic dance.
Yeah.
I'll do that with you.
Yeah, I think
so
it's like
much
every
fun.
other Saturday. We'll find out when it is.
Oh, yeah.
And let's see. I do a little bit of art with my daughter.
That's a great
just
thing.
Connecting with people.
Yeah.
And
when you were talking about the organizing, I'm just going to interject with another great read. It's called The Gentle Art of Swedish Death Cleansing.
Oh, I've heard about that.
It is an amazing book. It's a super
Nice.
simple read, but what it's talking about is in Sweden, I'm Swedish, they have a thing where you slowly throughout your life give things away to people, or, if it's in disrepair, you let it go. But that way, then when you get to the end of your journey, you've not saddled the rest of the people in your life with all your belongings and clutter. And it's actually a really beautiful book on
You got
how
to be intentional.
do that. Very intentional.
Well, this has been so much fun.
It's
to
been
be
so
with you
much
again.
fun. Anytime with Liz is fun.
Anytime with Leslie. We just love talking. So
Yes.
we're glad we get to share
The gift
this
of
with you.
gab.
So I hope that you'll bless us with the ways that you get into self-care. As Leslie said, I spend a lot of time here at Wellspring doing self-care, and I just got to knock at the door because I need to give someone some of their self-care with some body work. So we love you guys. We love
Yes.
people, love vitality. That's why we're doing this. Thank you so much for showing up. Also, Hulsa Holistics.
Yes.
Do you have a website?
I do not, but
Okay,
you
not yet.
can reach me through my email, which is halsaholistics@gmail.com, or you can call Wellspring and get my phone number and call me directly.
Yeah, because Leslie is bringing this holistic idea of self-care and health into her health coaching business. It's not just about eating right or exercising right. So she's amazing.
A whole picture.
Yes. All right.
All
so
right. Thank you for coming today, and thank you, Liz.
Ooh, thank you.